are finishing up what we started with Dr. Sleep. But not doing the review part, we're doing the comparison part. Just kidding. Okay, so here where the spoilers are actually going to start flowing. So I'm gonna tap my toes into some of the differences between the book and the movie. So there will be spoilers in this video for the book and for the movie. So if you haven't seen the movie and don't want it ruined, don't watch this. If you haven't read the book and don't want it ruined, don't watch this. Love you guys. Watch one of my other episodes instead. Watch the review. There's no spoilers. So let's jump right into this and cut out all my nonsense. I got 10 different things that are different between the movie and the book. Number 1. Okay, let's get the ending out of the way. The ending to the movie is way different than the ending to the book. They made the movie as a sequel to the Stanley Kubrick version and not true to the book, which in doing that they had to change the end because the ending of The Shining was different than the book's ending to The Shining. Now, the ending to the book, out of all of the Stephen Kings that I've listened to so far, The Shining is by far one of my favorites, and Dr. Sleep comes in at a very close, tight second. I loved that book, and I can't get myself to ruin that book for you on my channel. I don't want to, so I'm not going to. So, the book's ending is so good if you haven't read it. The movie ending, it doesn't compare to the book's ending, but it is good. For what they had to work with making it a sequel to the movie, I think that they did a really good job. Number 2, Abra in the movie developed her shine later. I get that you have to trim the fat on a book to get a movie, but I feel like they trimmed some of the fat that they should not have trimmed. So Abra, when she's a baby, she's super powerful. Her shine is like radar worthy. There's a whole part in the book where Abra is playing the piano with her mind. Abra's mother is listening to, she keeps hearing this piano play, and I think she goes downstairs to where the piano is playing itself, and then she puts it together that it's Abra in her crib as that infant of an infant playing the piano. And I think adding that, just that little glimpse of getting to see infant Abra playing the piano with her mind would have gone a long way in the movie to develop her character. Now, number 3 involves some more parts that are some of my favorite parts of the book, so I'm not going to ruin those for you either here. But number 3 is about Momo. Momo is Abra's grandma. Now, Abra's grandma played a way bigger part in the book than she does in the movie, and I know that you gotta, like I said before, you gotta cut some fat. I just don't feel that Momo's contribution to everything that plays out was a fair cut. Momo, I don't want to ruin it. On that note, you can find other places on the internet which will tell you what Momo did in the book that made her such a big character. But that leads us into number 4, which is that big plot twist moment. Jack Torrance, who is Danny's dad, Jack Torrance, back when he was a drunk, he was bumping uglies with Momo. She got pregnant and had a baby. That baby is Abra's mom, which makes Danny Torrance and Abra's mother half siblings. So in the book, there's a whole play on when Danny and Abra are meeting each other in person. Abra just starts telling people that Danny is her uncle. But the truth is, he is actually her uncle. And that is such a cool part that why wouldn't you want to keep that in the movie? Number 5. Okay, so this is a big one for anybody that has read the book. What they did is just... what the fuck, guys? Okay, so Danny has more than one friend. So in the movie, they took 3 characters from the book. 3 characters. And then they half-assed put them together and made one character. And that one character doesn't even do half of the cool shit those 3 guys do. Not even a quarter of the cool shit those 3 guys do. They cut out some super cool moments just to make their ending fit, and then they kind of tossed a couple of the moments in to where, so in the movie, he talks to this doctor who lost his watch, and that's an important thing, finding this watch, and so Danny tells him where the watch is, so he goes and gets the watch. That is a whole character, okay? That character means something. That guy is the pediatrist, that's it, right? He's the child doctor to Abra. That's how he gets this connection to Abra. That character is super important. And I know cutting him out just because you need to cut down some time makes a lot of sense. But you could have done Dr. Sleep in like a 2-parter and had more of this stuff in it. People would still watch that. I would have loved to see those 3 characters get to be 3 characters instead of like a tip off to the old hat there at this watch moment without building that character into the kind of character that he at least was. Instead, taking some of his beautiful moments from the book and just them all into one character. Okay, number 6. Now, number 6 was one of those things that I was super excited before I went to the theater. I got myself really pumped to see this. And then when I saw it, I was like, meh. But my husband watched it and he was like, that was super cool. So I guess if you're not going in with preconceived notions of watching this happen, it's pretty cool. But the transformation of the True Knot is quite a bit different. And I understand that you can't, well, you can. I mean, with everything we can do on TV these days, you could have invested more, you could have made that really pop. But like, when the True Knot are transforming, they go through this like coming in and out of the world, which they kind of showed a little bit, but they didn't show the Bangs vampireness of them, which I guess I kind of understand not showing that kind of stuff because you don't want them confused with vampires because of, you know, our modern society or whatever, because the True Knot are not vampires, but they kind of are, and they do have fangs, and they do not necessarily drink blood, but they dislocate their jaws and shit. Like, it is so crazy. In my mind, this is what I love about listening to books, because my mind can just create some weird shit. And King can just create some weird shit and then very detailedly explain it to you. So it's almost like you're seeing exactly what he's seeing. You don't need a visual representation of it. You got it. And so to not see that portrayed across the screen was really disappointing to me. I mean, it's King. He did a fabulous job explaining it. Why can't you get this right? Down. Good girl. Okay, so it kind of leads into number 7. So in the book, we get a lot more character development of the True Knot, which that is some fat that I can agree to kind of be cut out. It is way more important to get more backstory about Abra and Danny and the people that should have been in the movie but aren't. Those characters telling it's their story. The True Knots are just the villains, and in the book it was really interesting to get more of their stories, but I kind of agree with cutting out the whole measles thing. So if you didn't know, in the book, the True Knot are starting to get weaker and weaker, and they start dying from the measles. So, and that's where we get to see some really, well, we don't get to see it. You either get to listen to it or read it, but some really cool death scenes of some True Knot. Which leads into number 8 of more of the True Knot. So, the True Knots, I'm kind of glad that they cut this out. I don't mind seeing sex and nudity in TV. It doesn't bother me. It's not a big deal if it means something. And yes, to the True Knot, their sexual ways is a part of who they are. And when you know more of their backstory and you get more of their history, it helps make it make more sense. I feel like since they cut a lot of that out, if they were to toss in some of the sexual, explicit kind of things that the True Knot do, it would have felt out of place for the movie. So I'm glad that they didn't put that in, since they weren't putting in more history of the True Knot. So in the book, get to see more of these 2 characters, Snakebite Andy and Rose the Hat. They develop more of like a a friendship, but it's more than that because they get physically involved with each other. They have some sexy time. So I think if that was put into the movie, it would have just come off wrong. Like, because they wouldn't have given as much. I mean, if they gave the whole history, which they kind of did, they showed how Snakebite Andy became into the True Knot, but they didn't really show the part that she really played in the True Knot, because they didn't show as much of the True Knot. And leaving that out, it was... Thor! I can't even think when you do that. Get over here and lay down. It's the washer! Well, I don't even know what I was saying. I don't know what I was saying. My dog distracted me. And I went off script. Anyhow, I think if they put in the whole storyline with Snakebite Andy, it would have made perfect sense and wouldn't have just been nudity for the sake of nudity. It would have been nudity for the sake of telling a story. Okay, number 9 is something that I was actually looking forward to seeing in the movie. They cut out a lot of Danny's drunken history in the book. That's a bigger timeline where we get to see what Danny's going through. Now, he is haunted. He's haunted by everything because that's a part of his shine. Like, he sees the ghosts from the hotel and he starts locking them into his mind boxes, just like he does in the movie, except for we see more characters. And I understand cutting some of that out, because it is, I guess you could say it's some of the fat. But the part I didn't understand was the flies. We don't get to see any of the flies. Danny can tell when somebody's about to die, and it happened with his mom. He knew when his mom was going to die because he saw the flies on her face. And it gets to the point where, like, he can't even look at people because he sees these flies all over his face. When he's buying the cocaine with Deanie, he sees the flies all over the guy's face that they're buying the cocaine from, so he knew that he was going to die. I was looking forward to the fly thing. And I don't actually know why I was looking forward to the fly thing, but it was one of those little details that is in the book that since I was sitting alone in the theater with my husband, I was excited to be like, oh, that's in the book! And then it never happened. The other part of his haunting is Deanie, actually, the baby. So that comes up a lot in the book. He is constantly haunted by Deanie and the baby and what he did there, where he just took the money and left that baby there. He didn't call child services to save the baby, and all of a sudden he's seeing this dead baby. That is a driving force to get him to help Abra. Alright, lastly, number 10. I'm going to be kind of vague about this because I don't want to ruin the ending to the book, but all the wrong people died. Like, it's not the same who lives and dies in the book compared to the movie. Now, with that being said, there are more characters in the book to live and die. On that note, it is a rough road taking a book and turning it into a movie, so there's always going to be really big differences from a book to a movie, especially if you are trying to make it a sequel to another movie that didn't stick to a book. So, there's that. If you have yet to watch it, I know I'm posting this video really late. I wrote the whole script like right after I watched it, and I watched it like its first week out. So, if you haven't seen the movie yet, go see the movie. It doesn't matter if you've read the book or not, it's still enjoyable. If you haven't read the book or listened to the book, if you are into it's not even scary. You know, when you think of Stephen King, you think scary, super scary. The Shining and the Dr. Sleep are actually not that scary. There are ghosts in them, and those moments are creepy. I'm not gonna lie, they're creepy as fuck. The lady in the bathtub still gets me. She's creepy, and you get to see her in both The Shining and in Dr. Sleep. She comes back, which is cool, but gross because I don't like her. And as always, if you guys like this video, hit that like button. If you like me, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. If you want to see more than my dog's butt, you can follow her on Instagram at This Is Having a Bad Day. And we are tweeting, Twitter eating. We are bird talking at DizBad, Diz_bad. As always, thank you for watching, and stick around for the outtakes, because I am not professional. You're welcome. Doctor Sleep, Doctor Sleep, Doctor Sleep, Doctor Sleep. He's a doctor of sleep, which isn't even true. He's Dr. Sleep because he helps people die. He's not really a doctor, Don. Just like the doctor. The doctor's not really a doctor. He's an alien. I mean, no. You don't get to drink tea. There's too much sugar in it. Nope. What are you talking about? Nope. You're not Domino.